call of nature, Roy's playing with hearts and minds.
He looked at David and I, looked at the doe, judged which was more attractive, and off he went.
Jaf Jefferson is out on rape stubble providing top tips and shot cam action. Plus, have you passed your pheasant physical? Are your grouse sound and your partridge toned? Top shot Mark Windsor is smoking targets, and this time they're game flavoured. We have news, we have hunting YouTube. Welcome to Fieldsports Britain. It wouldn't be a truly fulfilled field sports year without Roy playing with the hormonally charged roebucks. So here we are at the end of the rut season with buttolo in hand and a host of calling possibilities across this Hampshire estate.
First light is now well and truly here, and we've got 18 degrees, so it's quite warm. It feels fairly muggy. It's certainly not a fresh morning. There's no wind, so I'm hoping the roebuck rut is still in full swing. I know I've put weight on over the last few years. David asked for a hide, but I think that's a bit over the top. And I'm hoping that we should kick off this morning with a bit of a fizzy old start.
Weather is a major influencer of the rut. Too hot and it can go nocturnal. This summer, Roy has found early mornings have been most productive, which is why we're here at dawn.
I've spoken to some friends and yeah, they've seen it all the way through the day and evenings, but yeah, from what I've seen this morning, we've definitely had a better time early mornings. You just never know. Whatever happens, it's always going on. And most of the does at the end of it will be covered, so the boys will have had their fun. It's just whether or not you get to see it. Okay, young doe. We'll just have a bit of a call. Just have a bit of a play with her, see what sort of response we get from her. And see if she's got a boyfriend in tow.
Our second call is more promising, but it's just the girls at the moment. The boys must be having a lie-in.
Just stunning creatures. Oh, she's still barking.
Even though there are no bucks responding on this corner of the wood, Roy doesn't move far before giving it another go.
Yeah, I've had responses in areas where we've only been 100, 150 yards away from where we've just done a previous call and had amazing responses. So you've just got to try every little bit that looks like it could be a good territory for a buck holding up. I mean, all of this is very good territory. So yeah, we know there's bucks here. We've just got to find one that is feeling a little bit amorous.
We move and squeak, move and squeak. Then, with no luck, drive to another part of the estate.
There's a doe with two kids there. We've got another doe coming here, we've got another doe there, we've got another doe there, two kids. She's coming across. There's a buck behind her, stay really still. Okay, have you got her?
Yeah.
Okay, he's right over there.
Intoxicated by hormones, we have a wild animal charging towards a large white Volvo. It's usually the other way round.
Well, that'll teach me for playing around. And we had a lovely response from a young doe coming out and came steaming across to us. And then a buck emerged on the back end of another doe. That buck has just gone in following a hot doe into the wood. We might be able to come round from the other side and just have a bit of a call and see if he'll come out the other side. So we'll just race around there, get to the other side of the wood, and hopefully he might still be in play.
Get your rifle out this time.
Who needs a rifle? It's beautiful. You don't need to shoot anything. It's lovely.
Lesson learned. Our next stop has Roy ready and rifled up, and we have a buck coming our way.
There's another one coming from the left. Yeah. No, watch the buck. The buck's going to the doe. You all right? Okay. Excellent. That was a superb little reaction there. That was lovely to see. I'm not overly fussed because for a young buck, he's showing a fair amount of promise. So there's worse bucks on here to take. You know, that was a lovely little response. So he started coming to us and he was absolutely hooked on us. And then we had a brilliant response from a doe that came in from the maze a couple of 100 yards to our left. She came tearing in. He looked at David and I, looked at the doe, judged which was more attractive, and off he went. So, but no, yeah, that was a lovely, lovely little response again. It's just a fantastic time to spend time out in the fields and in the forest and out in the woods and see exactly what's going on. And it gives you a phenomenal opportunity to really check all the deer out and see what's happening.
With the heat rising fast, Roy knows we only have a short time left in the open fields. Our last effort will be focused undercover.
But it's just before 8 o'clock and it is absolutely sweltering, and I think that's probably put all the deer back into wood. There's just nothing moving around in the fields at all now. We had seen deer up on their feet and starting to get about, but it really has just shut down. What I'm hoping is that the deer may still be active, but just tucked up in the cover, where it's a little bit cooler. So we're just going to walk a couple of woodland rides, just have a few squeaks and see if we get any responses from that. But apart from that, I think it's almost breakfast time.
It's a first for us. The only thing Roy pulls from the undergrowth is a stoat.
David heard something coming through the nettles. I thought it was a squirrel. He came bolting through, really interested in the squeak, and it was a stoat, and it was absolutely fantastic. And then running around in the lock pile there and just trying to get a look and see what was going on.
It's another wonderful, up-close and personal wildlife moment. We don't have a roebuck to mount onto the wall or to cook on the barbecue, but we can feast on these experiences forever. Roy pulls them in like they're tied on string, and even David called one the other day using a WhatsApp recording of Roy doing what he does best. Now from the best to a cheap aftermarket alternative, it is David on the Fieldsports Channel News Stump.
This is Fieldsports Channel News. A herd of 15 fallow deer, including 3 fawns, have been found shot dead and abandoned in a field in a suspected poaching incident. Edward Brown, who chairs the Wyre Forest Deer Management Society, called the scene he saw and filmed here carnage. West Mercia Police confirmed it was investigating the incident and said the deer were found on farmland in Kinlet near the Shropshire-Worcestershire border. Thanks to viewer Chris Treese and others for sending this in. There is at last a pro-hunting voice at the top of natural England. Michael Gove has appointed Lord Blencathra, who once said it was essential to get pro-hunting MPs into Parliament, as Deputy Chairman of Natural England. The Conservative peer, who as MP David McLean was a minister at the then Ministry of Agriculture, voted 6 times against the fox hunting ban. Of course, the antis are furious and have responded with death threats against both Gove and Lord Blencathra. Such caring, sensitive folk. The price of rhino horn is still driving poaching throughout southern Africa. Despite 15-year jail sentences handed out this week to 2 rhino poachers, the carnage continues. Hunting outfitter Philip Bronkhorst from pbsafaris.com in Limpopo province has once again highlighted the problem finding this rhino.
This is what a lot of people come to see in South Africa. A rhino, a live rhino with its horn. But our government doesn't do anything. They just turn a blind eye.
Facebook group Deer Stalking UK is giving away an ember leaf knife. You can win the Garran knife by adding 2 friends to the group by typing their names into the Add Members box at the top right of the page and pressing Enter on your keyboard. Link to the competition is in the description below. And finally, a couple of good news items about Fieldsports Channel. We have joined the small and exclusive band of hunting, shooting TV channels around the world that have clocked up more than 100 million views on YouTube. Alongside US hunting and fishing channel Lunkers TV, Australian hunting and outdoor channel Taradara Brothers, and US airgun and hunting channel Ted's Holdover. We are the biggest European channel by quite a long way. The number 2 slot in Europe has 82 million views, and the number 3 channel is on 42 million views. The other piece of good news is that YouTube has selected Fieldsports Channel to become the first channel in the hunting, shooting, gun market to trial YouTube's new series feature, which is a regular long-form TV show like Fieldsports Britain. As a result, our shows are now being considered for the subscription TV service YouTube TV, currently only available in the USA. Marvellous. You are now up to date with Fieldsports Channel News. Stalking the stories, fishing for facts.
Thank you, David. Now it is time to limber up, loosen up and warm up with Mark Windsor ahead of the game season with Smoking Targets, game flavoured.
In my opinion, one of the most exciting game birds to shoot because they are totally wild. They do what they want, they see you, they move around a lot, they move around a hell of a lot more than partridge and pheasant do. But ultimately, all the excitement and the buzz of the day aside, we want to be looking at safety really. Most of your shots are going to be around eye level or just above or sometimes even below. You've got to be making sure that you're not doing anything silly. You know, take your time, be very aware of your surroundings, be aware of your neighbours. We have the butt sticks here, left side and right side, to obviously limit you swinging through down into the neighbour's area of shooting. That would be a big no-no on a day out when you're shooting grouse. So if we've got a bird that curls out to our left side and I favour the right side, the opposite side to the bird, what you can find here would be a dangerous thing to do, would be to swing right the way down through with the bird. Be very, very careful because now I've come right inside the sticks and that's a big no-no. That's to send you home. Okay, so you've got to be very careful. Now the gun's unloaded. I'll just show you again. If the bird presents itself and I'm on the right hand side of the butt and the bird's going left-handed of me, it's bad practice to go on the opposite side to get that wider angle. I would always recommend to always favour if the bird is going left-handed. Let's take a step to the left So if the bird does close in on us, they're very fast game birds we're talking about here, we can see the sticks come in our line, we've either taken a shot or we've decided not to for safety reasons, we bring the gun back round to a safe area. And obviously the same side here, the right hand stick, we want to be making sure that we're not too far this side of the butt, because of course there, if you can see my gun, it can come round inside the sticks, and again it's just total disregard for your neighbour's safety. And these days are about safety over anything. You've got to be very, very careful, because things get very fast, very lively, but safety is your number one thing you want to be thinking of through the whole day, especially when you're shooting grouse. Okay, so now we're going to look at the dead straight, the pin straight grouse, okay? Coming directly straight at the butt. It is going to lift through. Okay, so it's going to be very fast. It's not going to be straight at our eyes, because obviously that would be dangerous. It's going to be about, its closest point here, it's going to be about 10 to 15 yards above us, which is ideally not where we want to be shooting it. Good practice on the grouse would be taking a confident but safe shot as far out as possible, but as shootable as possible. About a 40-yard shot out here would be ideal, because then if we make a mistake and we miss the shot, we can make a second backup shot at a safe distance here and the bird hasn't come through. Okay, so now we're going to look at your typical dead straight, fast driven grouse, so be ready. Okay, so you'll see that the gun will fall down into a safe position, but a very low position. I always like to keep my head down, be ready, because obviously if I'm standing bolt upright and that bird presents itself in front of me and it sees me, I'm going to encourage it to go right-handed or left-handed, which is obviously a more trickier shot. Then I've got more to deal with. Okay, so when we're ready, Ed, we're just going to keep the gun nice and straight. So if you look, it's about level with the horizon. So pull, gun up, take it. Okay, one more, gun up, pull, gun up. So if you notice, I'm keeping the bird away from me, I'm keeping it in front, purely because there's less going on there. In my opinion, it's an easier shot out front. Obviously it's taking a straight line. If I leave that target to come any closer, so you saw I took the shot about 35 yard out. If I leave it to come any closer, there's more movement in the barrel and I present myself with a lower, faster bird, which in my opinion is probably one of the hardest tricks in the book to shoot. It's just not the place you want to be. It's ideally leave it for a second barrel if you need to. Okay, so we'll show you one more time. We'll do two more of these. Now you'll notice that the gun stays completely low all the time. My head's straight. I'm looking out here for the birds. So when you're ready, Ed, pull. Okay, so there's a very short move to it. Notice how I'm not wasting any time. Pull. Okay, so the barrel at the end is probably moving, I would say, no more than about 15–20% of the bird's flight. If we gave the bird 100% flight, we only want to be cutting that barrel movement down to about 20%, purely because the shot out there, there's less to do. Notice again, I'm being very, very barrel tidy. I'm lifting from underneath the bird, keeping it at a low angle of attack. It gives me an advantage over the bird. You've got to be confident. Don't waste any time on it. Get the bird shot out front for obvious reasons. If we miss it with the first barrel, we've still got enough time for a second follow-up shot. Okay. Okay, so another important thing when you're shooting grouse, okay, there's no cartridge in it, totally empty. It's always good to make sure, it's good practice that the barrel is matching your horizon, purely down to the fact that when the birds arrive, they don't surprise you. You're not standing here with the gun up in the air. You're never ever going to shoot a grouse at that angle unless it's second barrel late on, okay? So make sure that the barrel is nice and low. If the birds arrive, I can lift the barrel, it matches the horizon. I arrive at the bird, I'm purely comfortable because I know exactly where the bird is. It's at the end of the barrel and I'm giving myself so much time. Be very, very smooth when you shoot these because, again, you're shooting mainly in front of you, sometimes off at the side. So be very smooth. You don't need to move through that big long angle with the big sweep of the gun. Nice and steady. So here it goes again. The gun comes up, nice and smooth. You can cover a hell of a lot of ground by just a very, very short move with the barrel. So I'd like to overemphasize that the more you move the barrel, the less control you'll have in the shot. Try and use the bird as a bit of a magnet, you know, stay with it, follow it on, it gives you time. And also never forget the feet, because obviously you're talking about a very narrow angle here. These birds can cover ground very, very fast, so always make sure that your feet are in place to catch that bird downrange. Second barrel, always set for that second shot if you need to.
Do you often see birds flare because people are too active in the butt?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, if again, that excitement factor, you know, if you don't keep nice and low, they are, especially later grouse, when they've done a few laps, as I call it, they really know what to look for. And if they see you lift your head, if you stay too low and then you lift up, all of a sudden a pack of 20 can become just birds scattered in the air. And then it takes a lot of work to try and get that shot back under control, you know, because what way do you go? They flare all sorts of directions. What bird do you pick when you've only got half a second to make a decision? So I'd always recommend, you know, if the pack's coming towards you and it decides to just wander left-handed, again, the gun's empty, take the gun in the direction of the covey of the birds, get yourself in ready, bang, it gives you enough time. Don't waste any time on grouse, you know, start your work very early. If you can get the bird down under control between a 40-yard and a 30-yard range, you've still got all this close end to shoot in, you know. If you're not on control with the bird until it gets around 20, 15 yards even, then you've got the sticks to contend with, the bird's already through. So you've got to make sure that your work is started very early. Again, get your loader to help you pick the birds, you know, get him to help you spot them. He may be a lot younger, help you out a lot faster. If you can gain that advantage on a day's grouse shooting, you're going to win.
So Mark, any advice on shells for grouse?
Yeah, so here we've got two types of shells really. One is your grouse range, which comes in 3 loads, 33 gram 5.5, 31 gram 29 gram, all great for the job. And the other side of the coin is the black gold game, which is a 32 gram 5, very similar choice of load, slightly different speed. Obviously, when you open these up, you can see all your lovely shot in there, diamond shot, you know, perfect for consistency. I rely on that. Normal factory shot is good, it will do the job, but I like to know that your diamond shot is going to do the job every single time basically. You've got consistency there. You will not find any impurities in any of them pellets whatsoever. It wouldn't faze me if you gave me these or these on a grouse moor. Okay, so we're going to shoot, me and Steve, chief loader here, best loader in the West as they call it. We're going to run through the whole double gun situation. Okay, ready? Whoa. Right. Don't ever rush, you know, try and help your loader out as much as you can. Never just throw the gun at him. He's got twice as much, probably 3 times the workload that I've got to do. So respect, he's got a lot of work to do there. Help him along, you know, so guns are totally empty here, we can run you through it. Basically, we're shooting out in front in the direction of the camera there. So it's basically 2 shots out front. I'm looking to keep my eyesight in front. So I'll never take my eye off the camera. With my right hand, my left hand lets go, just stick the gun nearly vertical. Then it's over to him. He places left hand, forend, right hand pistol grip. We go again, bang, bang. Keeping my eyes front, the gun comes to the same direction, left, right hand, change. Okay, and if I go fast, if I start trying to speed up, it makes his job even worse. Okay, so what we're looking for is a nice, smooth, controlled rhythm, a backwards and forwards pass. So bang, bang, again. It's easy to do. Once you learn the timing, it's easy. You can make things easy. You can get some shots off in quite a good rate of knots. But always remain safe, always remain in control, never rush. You know, don't think just because you've got 2 guns circulating with 4 shots in them that you have to get them shots off. In my opinion, a good shooter, whether you're shooting pheasants, partridges, grouse, will always remain accurate, calm and deadly with a gun in the safe direction, rather than thinking greedy, you know, get as many shots off as I can. It's not about that, it's about enjoying your day safely and working together as a team, because it is a team effort.
And from the loader's point of view, what sort of thing are you expecting from the gun?
Really just to keep cool and calm in the situation.
Absolutely.
You know, it's my job is essentially as a loader to make sure hopefully Mark doesn't lose his way and get a little bit of the red mist descend, as you quite often see sometimes.
Very easy done.
Yeah, seen it quite a few times myself. And I mean, from the loading point of view, when I load out of a pouch here, which I find a little bit easier to then be able to take the 2 cartridges out, always if I can, trying to grab them brass side up, so then it's much easier for me to then load them into the chambers. Nice safe close to the area I'm closing the gun to, straight up round the back of Mark. And I'm essentially then looking for Mark's left hand to show me where he wants that gun placed. So when that left hand comes across his body and the right hand's gone with the other gun, I can place that forend straight into his left hand, break the second gun and reload again.
Smooth is fast and stay in control. You know, it's the best way of shooting. You'll, in my opinion, less shots, more accurate, instead of more shots flailing around, making noise and poisoning the atmosphere, you know.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, sponsor Game Ball. Thank you, Royal Berkshire Shooting School, for hosting us. More from all three of those coming soon. And if you're interested in driven game shooting, well, we covered it in the Cartagenus Game Fair Theatre, and a recording of that is the subject of this week's podcast. You can click on the I symbol top right to find out how to download it or to watch it on YouTube. Next up, Jaf Jefferson, probably best known to you from the South Somerset Ferreters, is a shareholder, and I appealed to shareholders saying, would you like to send in footage? Well, Jaf's was so good, shot on an iPhone and a shot cam, that we've turned it into an item.
Been the Nuki for 10 days. As I left, they were cutting the fields. So my wife dragged me kicking and screaming, knowing full well that I was going to miss out on some good pigeon shooting. But never mind, I'm here now. So I've come to a field of rape stubble today, probably cut, I don't know, 9-10 days ago. Now since then we've had a bit of rain, so all the spills are starting to grow again. The pigeons seem to be feeding off of it. I might have missed my chance on it, because I know this field does produce some good shooting. Anyway, let's give it a go. 50 decoys, that's what I'm starting with. And I got 10 dead birds from yesterday. 40 plastic shells. Now these are handy, something I use. Kebab sticks. They're good for sticking under the chin, holding the heads up. I mean, not every flock of pigeons, they haven't all got their heads down. So if you want to get some of these, a lot of people use metal spikes, but these are bamboo. And if they get left in the field, it doesn't matter. You know, they get ploughed in, they rot away. I've known people use metal spikes. Hazel sticks. Hazel sticks are fine, biodegradable. But these are really nice and lightweight. If you leave them behind, it doesn't matter. All set up. I've started with about 50 decoys, 10 of them are dead birds I shot yesterday. The rest are plastics. Now I've set up right against the telegraph pole in the middle of the field. Now I've always liked doing that. 2 or 3 reasons really. You got 360 degree shooting. It's easier to pick up your birds. Also, if the wind changes, which we all know the wind does change and it does get bloody annoying, all you got to do, quick shuffle with your decoys, boom, you're off shooting again. Now I'm just waiting for 2 dog walkers who've decided to walk into this field and walk their dog around the whole field, which is probably half a mile around. Now I just got to sit, wait for them to go away and bring the pigeons in. I'm sure we all do it. You hit an absolute screamer. Next one comes in, right in front of your barrel. What do? You miss it. Well, ever since I bought this shot cam, my shooting has improved. Hell of a lot, really. Now, I did a film with Charlie. We'd spent 3 days out together, and my shooting was absolutely terrible. And ever since I used his, and bought my own, absolutely great. I mean, you can go home, see where you're going wrong, analyse it, put your mistakes right. I'm not the best shot in the world anyway, but it has improved my shooting. So if you can buy one, borrow one, get one. Shot cams are absolutely brilliant. try and avoid doing, if I can, is sort of leaving the hide too much to go and try and, you know, sort of pick up the dead birds. But obviously, if you see sort of 2 or 3 belly up, you want to go and sort of try and sort them out, really. But the least you can leave the hide, the better. Well, I've just had a memory come up on Facebook from 6 years ago today. I shot 165. Now, wouldn't it be nice to get a repeat of that today? Well, 87. Not a bad day at all, really. I mean, I should have shot over 100, but who cares? You know, I've had a really good day. Bit of a strange day, as where the wind was concerned. It just kept coming from different directions. I mean, one minute it was coming from the left, then from the right, from front, behind. But anyway, it just made more interesting shooting, really. So no complaints from me whatsoever.
Jaf working hard and having a lovely time at the same time there. And that field is about to be re-drilled, so the farmer wants the birds knocked back. Next up, the wider world of hunting and shooting on YouTube. It is Hunting YouTube. This is Hunting YouTube, which aims to show the best hunting and shooting videos that YouTube has to offer. First up, look out world, Jaf Jefferson from the South Somerset Ferreters has found YouTube. And it's not just via Fieldsports Channel, this is his film of shooting 3 foxes in 5 minutes. Here's rabbit clearance on the new permission from Bailey's Shooting and Country Wear, John Bailey at work. And John has kindly asked me to come and open his new shooting shop in Staffordshire on Sunday the 19th of August 2018. Look it up on Facebook if you are in the area. Sheridan Falconry has made this nice looking promo film. No falconry, but excellent use of a drone. Expect more from this channel. Feliu Chasse in France pulls off a 140-metre running shot in this series of clips from a driven hunt. He is pleased with himself, and rightly. He had to be happy with the backstop and identification as a roebuck or brocard launches at full speed past him. Pirsch mit Jagdgirls. Germany's boy wonders hunter brothers take 2 girls for a walk in the woods. It's the opening of the fallow buck season in Germany, and as the Ryleman lads point out, the girls are both young and very passionate. About hunting, of course. This is a trailer, but a trailer with a purpose. Over the next 2 weeks, American big game hunter Rick Frazier will be putting up films from Tanzania. If you are an African big game hunting enthusiast, worth bookmarking this channel. This is a nice tale of an American who loves his hunting, brought to your small screen by John Deere Gator, which I find particularly interesting because John Deere in the UK wrote to us to say that buyers of gators are not interested in hunting or shooting. They might need a new UK marketing department. And finally, while his daughter Rachel was chatting to me in the Carter Jonas Game Fair Theatre, Dad Dave Carey was outside in the wider game fair making this film about the annual gathering for people who love their country sports and the great British countryside. With more than 100,000 visitors to this year's event, it just shows how popular shooting and hunting sports are in the UK. That's it for this week. I've put all these films into a playlist for you. Click on the I symbol top right or check this film's description. If you have a YouTube film you would like us to pop into the weekly top 8, email me the link, charlie@fieldsportschannel.tv. Well, that is it for this week. If you haven't done so already, please pop over to our website, fieldsportschannel.tv. You can click to like us there on Facebook and on Instagram. You can follow us on Twitter. You can subscribe to us on YouTube. And best of all, you can pop your email address into our register page and we'll contact you about this show. Field Sports Britain is at 7 p.m. UK time every Wednesday. Plus, you can join our happy gang of investors. Go to fieldsportschannel.tv/shares to find out more about that. It only remains for me to say good hunting, good shooting, good fishing, and goodbye.